back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It's the 21st day of February and the year is 2022. We've had one conversation about boxing. I'll tell you that there is a national team for pool. Well, Duncan had that, and yes, there's a national pool team. Well, looks like the sport has a reputation that precedes it. But the Africa Blackball Pool Championships will be taking place in Zambia 2 weeks from now, and there's a prize fund of $12,500. And this is what you would simply call the triangle pool game, but they call it the Blackball pool professionally. We shall be getting into that conversation with the captain of the women's national team and also the top seed in Kenya. But just before that, a reminder of other news items that we are taking a look at. Archbishop Philip Anyolo of the Archdiocese of Nairobi. He is going to be at the Kenyatta National Hospital. Today is the World Day of the Sick. He's going to be visiting them. Our reporter at that event is Nancy Okware. The Azimio la Umoja movement is going to be moving is going to be in Taita Taveta County, going to make their policies known. And also, we've got the Senate Health Committee. They are going to be meeting today. Farah Yusuf is our reporter. So straight, let's get into this conversation about this sport that is known as pool. And everyone asks, pool, okay. It has a reputation that at times is not the best. Some say that proficiency in the sport is a sign of a wasted youth. But we have a case now here where proficiency in the sport has gained you an opportunity to represent the country in Africa at the Africa Blackball Pool Championships. And on my immediate right, we have got the women's captain and seed 5 in the country. Her name is Doreen Wandia. Doreen, pleasure to have you. And also we have got the men's top seed Collins Tuwei. And Collins, thank you very much for being with us today. Tell us how, when it comes to this competitive level of pool, you have managed to change the whole perspective of the sport from one that's played for recreational purposes. Others do the gambling part. The name they use, I think, is killer. And to get into this competitive type of pool where you play the normal 8-ball pool but on a knockout basis for championship purposes.
Basically, anything starts with a hobby. And when you gain interest from it, you tend to seek higher opportunities. And when we came to find out that pool is done competitively and actually some do it for a living, you tend to put your focus and your effort. And with that, you get to compete with the best and of the best.
I know about 20 years ago, 22 years ago, we had the Simba wa Kenya competition, and that's, I think, the first time when pool was picking up in the country, and there was prize money and that. How did that moment change the whole perspective of the game from people like your current president, Fred Karanja, known as Crash?
To be honest, that was a changer because at that time I was around 15 or 14 years old, and seeing it on telly and not being able to participate, yet you feel you're good, gives you that motivation to go on with the sport.
Mm-hmm. And let me come to this, to the captain of the women's team, Doreen Wandia. She's 5th seeded in the country. How did you get into the sport?
Okay, I started playing when I was 8 years old. I would frequent the joints that my dad would go to. That's where I started playing, but I started playing professionally in 2014. That's when I joined the team that was that time. Actually, it's Crash that noticed me in the group. Like, I was playing for fun that time, and he spotted me and he asked me if I would be interested to join the team. And I told him that has been a childhood dream of mine. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's all.
What was it like when you're going out to play with your father?
It was amazing because he taught me with a lot of love and a lot of care. So when I would commit the mistakes, he would correct me nicely. And yeah, the passion just grew on me. And yeah, it was amazing.
The one thing I know about pool players is the moment you get onto it, it's one sport where you feel you must be playing. If you're not playing every day, then it must be something's missing. How did you handle this, the fact that at one point in time, you had to be in school throughout? You had to be in school for 3 months, and you probably have got just a 1 month break for you to get back into the sport.
It's very true. Pool can be very addictive. Actually, it's very addictive. But actually, I had several years of a break because my dad now, I got to a certain age, he was like, he can't take me to where we could find a pool table. He wasn't comfortable. So actually, I didn't play for the whole of high school and late primary. And I only reunited with the sport again in campus, sorry. Yes.
And for you, Collins, what's been your progression, picking up the sport at what point, and how you actually now moved on to becoming now a professional pool player?
Basically, I learned it also from my dad as Doreen. He was a snooker player, which is quite equivalent to pool. So watching him and him being at his high levels gave me the psych to join the sport. So he would take me where he plays. Just before he plays, he teaches me one or two things, and I grew in love with the sport. I'm a sportsman, but this being an individual sport, I saw an opportunity where I can shine as myself.
You're a sportsman. What's your alternative sport?
I played basketball professionally.
Yeah. Professionally?
Yes.
Where?
There's a team called Blazers, which were in Division 1, in Division A. Yeah.
Snooker and pool.
Yeah.
It's all about the cue. They're both, you both use a table, you use a cue stick, but there is a difference in the way they are played.
Yes.
Starting off with snooker and moving on to pool, what was that transition?
It is an advantage to start with snooker because it is more challenging, it is a bigger table, and so the skill set that you get from it benefits you better when it comes to pool. It becomes easier to maneuver around the smaller table. Yes.
And for you, have you played that snooker before?
No, actually I haven't tried, but I've tried Chinese pool, which is equally a big table as snooker.
Okay. Now, here is the Kenyan team, and the last time that, for the women, you have an advantage. You participated at the Africa Blackball Championships in Uganda in 2016. What was the quality of that championship then?
Then we weren't well prepared because actually we only had 4 ladies making up our team instead of the 5. So that means we had to forfeit the 5 slots, the frames for the team. So we didn't perform very well in Uganda, and even in 2014 we'd gone to Tanzania for the same. We also didn't perform very well, but yeah, this year we are getting better and we're hoping to keep on improving as we move forward.
What's the quality of the women who are playing pool on the continent?
If you look at the Ugandan and the South African team, they have a very strong ladies team. Actually in 2017 I was able to attend the same event in Zimbabwe, and the lady who actually beat me is part of the team that is now the world champion. Like the South African team is actually the current female world champion.
Well, and talking about the teams that will be participating, South Africa is one of them. So you can expect that there's going to be a lot of steep competition that's going to be coming in for Team Kenya. For you, Collins, the men's team, you have been to these championships. The men's team has been to these championships before. What is currently the kind of competition that we've got in the continent?
I would say we started off 2012, 2011, going for test matches in Uganda, in Tanzania, whereby we were top in East Africa. But due to structures and lack of a lot of commitment in the sport, we lagged behind a bit, and Uganda overtook us, and they are the current African champions, according to the last championships that they had. But South Africa is the most talented, and they've gone for world championships outside of the continent. So I believe they're the most talented, but as we are coming back to the sport, we are here to gear up and to fight the top of the top.
And given the kind of number of men who are playing in the championships, having taken a look at the videos of the qualifiers for this Africa Blackball Championships, looking at the number of men playing, what's the quality? How much growth have you seen?
We've been able to identify new talents from different places, Kapsabet, Eldoret, Kitale, Mombasa, and there are good players out there which showcased properly in these qualifications. And I believe we have a strong team, and we are much better than we were 2-3 years ago.
All right, let me come to you, Doreen, and you're the captain of the women's team, so I want you to take us through this squad. You have seeded 55% win ratio. What was that qualification process like for you to get into the top 5?
Actually, it was very eye-opening for me, because I got to meet some ladies I hadn't even played before. I didn't even know about them, and as the captain, I was very amused by the level of skill they were exhibiting during the qualifiers. And for me, yes, some players were very challenging, and I remember the men were even complaining because they were saying our matches seemed like super friendly. Yeah, we would even start congratulating each other in the sport, in the game as it was going on. But yeah, I was very impressed by the skills these ladies were showing.
So tell us about the team that you'll be captaining. We've got Victoria, we've got Anissa, and we've got Jackie, and also we've got Penina Rose, the top seed. Oh
yeah, so they all have different level of skills. Some are very talented when it comes to the white management. Others is the sporting skill, you know, and I'm very confident that before we go for the championship, we'll help each other and polish where we are lagging behind as individual players.
Can we basically take us through your team? We've got, let me start with Victoria, who seeded 4.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Victoria has been in the sport for not so long. She just joined the sport just the other day, but she's very patriotic because she was even in the national team for swimming before. But yeah, her skills on the table are formidable. When you watch her game, you'll clearly see that. Anissa has been in the sport for so many years now. She told me she's played for over 20 years now, and yeah, her skill is still there. And Jackie plays in Limuru. She's a top seed there. Like, she's actually used to beating men thoroughly. And yeah, she plays pool full time. She told me she does it full time. PR will be talking to us later, and yeah, she'll talk about her skill then. Okay.
Now let's Collins, let's talk about the men's team. I know this is where you've got a lot of competition here. So first of all, let's talk about Fahad.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Fahad was a player back in 2010. He took a break, a good player coming up. We used to have local tournaments, individual tournaments, whereby I met him, and he was a challenge then, but he took a break and came back to the sport 2 years ago, and is really coming up the ranks and are very competitive with a different style of play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We also have got Henry Mwangi. Henry was supposed to be with us.
Yes.
And we'll give you a message that we would like you to pass to Henry later.
Yes.
But tell us about Henry.
Phenomenal player. Has been on the top rating in the country for the longest time. He's my biggest competitor. And we've played on individual tournaments, team. We've played in the same team, representing the country, representing corporates. One of the toughest-minded players we have.
Well, his win ratio was 65%, and for Jeff, he got 68% win ratio. Tell us about how these win ratios were reached at the qualifiers.
You know, the way the qualifiers were done was in a point system whereby every game counted. You were supposed to play each and every player 8 games, and each game gives you a point. So it depends on the win-loss ratio. And with Geoffrey, it came to the last match that I had, which I was able to overtake him because it was very competitive and it was on top throughout the qualifiers until the last day.
Well, your win ratio was 68.75%. His was 68.05. How brutal was the men's eliminated?
It was crazy. I would tell you, by the last day, I had 4 matches to go, and I was 4th, according to my wins for the previous 3 days. And I won it by 1 game difference. That's why the ratios are so close between me and Geoffrey. So, as they say, you snooze, you lose. It's very practical when it came to the qualifiers that we have.
And Doreen, looking at what you've got to do now, for example, for your game, what is it that you found out from the other women in the team that you are competing against?
One thing, the first thing I learned, overconfidence is very bad.
You are overconfident going into it?
A bit, I must confess. A bit. And then I learned that I need to work on my, how do we call it? My accuracy in my shots, because if there's something I was failing on was my accuracy, but I'm a very defensive player. So I also
white ball managers.
Yes. Yes, I need to work on my attack capabilities, because for lack of a better term, I'm very shy when it comes to potting. Like, I'd rather just defend all through, so I need to balance that.
I mean, to do that, what kind of style of play would you need to adapt? Because there are those people who will try and get the ball close to the pot, and then
leave it there.
Then leave it there, make sure that pot is blocked, and look for the opponents to make the mistakes.
Yes.
What needs to change?
Actually, you've just described my type of play. That's how I do it. So now I need to remember that you might try and, we call it snooker your opponent, but someone like Anissa and Victoria, even if you snooker them, my friend, they'll just double and find their ball. So so I need to know how to balance that. That's why I play with CT a lot, and the other top players as well. So they are teaching me to learn how to also attack at the same time.
Maintaining your cool in a game like this, which is about accuracy, how do you go about it?
On a light note, Fahad is very good at consoling someone when you're tensed, because I remember some time back I had a money match against Jackie, and I was shaking. I was even tearing up before the match. And he came, he gave me some words.
Why were you tearing?
And the tension is there. It's always there, no matter how much you've played this.
Because I would believe that somebody would tear up only if they have lost the game, not because they are going to play a game.
Anxiety can make you tear up. Anxiety makes me tear up. So actually, I was even telling the ladies ahead of a serious championship like the one we are hoping to participate in, the anxiety will be there. Someone can even be shaking. I remember when I was playing, now the lady I was telling you from South Africa, I even committed a foul on my break because my hands just couldn't be calm at all.
So basically a foul, no ball hit the cushions?
Yeah, it just went straight and hit the white ball went straight and hit the cushion without touching the racked up balls. I was so embarrassed, but I remember that time because I was the only Kenyan there. The Ugandans were really there for me, so the Ugandan team coach came and spoke to me, gave me a hug. He's like, you got this, just relax, and just enjoy the game. The trick of calming down your anxiety is to remember that it's a game and you need to enjoy it. It's not an exam, it's just a game, just relax.
Now, for us Kenyans, we won medals. The same pressure we put on our steeplechase team is the same pressure we'll put on Malkia Strikers and now the national pool team. You'll be giving us the name of your team. Now, here is Collins, and let me come to you. How do you manage these situations, given that 4 games to go and you're lying 4th, and you've got to win all of them to make it to the team? How do you handle this kind of pressure?
It comes down to your mental strength, and mental strength is something you acquire over time. Being a competitive player, playing in difficult matches, we usually have money matches, playing people from outside of the country, you grow into knowing how to deal with the pressure, because definitely, even if you're how good, pressure will always be there. So one thing I tell myself, every game is different. From the moment you break the balls, you study the table, you either know you're going for an attack or you're going to be cautious. So remembering your basics is a way of dealing with nerves. Remembering what you need to do, your preparations, that's a way of dealing with nerves instead of thinking of the outcome while you're in the match.
Now, also what Kenyans may need to know about the Africa Blackball Pool Championships. Let's talk about the regulations of the sport that everyone needs to know. Doreen, let's start with the break. What are the rules that will apply? Depending on where you play, they will tell you that if you break, probably 2 of the balls must touch the cushions, or if the white ball comes back in, you may rack it up again, or you lose what is it called? Or you lose the play.
The frame, yes.
The frame. What are the rules when it comes to breaking that?
Yeah, so they all they depend on the rules that you're playing. So for blackball rules, when you break, at least 2 balls have to cross half of the table, and or maybe 1, but 1 goes in. Like either you pot one crosses the half.
Comes now back towards you.
Yeah, back towards you. Yes. Maybe Collins can.
Yes, and adding to that, also there are 2 other rules. If you make a foul whereby is either the white ball goes in or the white jumps off the table, your opponent has 2 shots, whereby the first shot is usually called a free shot in the blackball rules. So you can play any ball, even the black ball, then you play the legal shot, which is going to be yours. Another thing, when you're doing the break, if you break and the black ball goes in, it's not an automatic win as the local rules apply. It's called a re-rack, whereby you're supposed to break again, or you nominate your opponent to break.
Yes. All right. Then when it comes to the continuous play, what are the rules that apply?
So
go fast. You're free to interchange.
Okay. So during the continuous play, every shot you make, either the contact ball is the ball when you hit the white to hit your ball, either that ball or any other ball on the table or the white must touch the cushion. You see the way the local play, you can just hit the ball you want and just leave the white there. That's a foul.
Oh, so your expertise, snooker in
so that avoids dirty play, as they say.
Yes. So you have to hit the cushion.
And if you don't hit the cushion, either the ball goes in for it to be a legal shot. And in case of any foul, your opponent has a chance to play a free ball, then to continue with another shot. There are not 2 shots in this black ball. The first shot, in case of a foul, it's called a free shot, and then you continue with your shot.
Okay, let me just get this free shot right.
Yes.
It means that if I see the black ball is in a position where it may, just above the black ball in continuous play.
Yes.
If it's spotted, that game's gone.
Yes.
So that means with a free shot,
yes,
I am free to move the black ball away from a risky position.
Exactly. To a better position, maybe where your balls are strategically to control the game.
So then here comes, so what are some of the other things that one should not do when you've got the continuous play, and say in a normal condition where you've not, every player is porting the balls? What are the things one should not do during play?
Let me mention 2 that are very controversial. So there's one, you see where you're playing and then your opponent has spotted the white, the way people run to hold it instead of waiting for it to roll down. You should wait for it to roll down. If you touch it, you've lost that frame. Don't touch it, you wait for it to roll down. And in a professional or championship setting, you wait for the ref to actually hand it to you. You're not the one to pick it up. You wait for the ref to hand it to you. Another thing you shouldn't do, for those of us who have personal cue sticks, you should not at any point of a frame, you see the way when you're playing casually, the opponent has 2 very strategically positioned ball and you're like, this one I've lost. You even start, opening your cue or, just acting in a way that you're showing you're forfeiting. Because people do that as a mental tactic against your opponent. You want to have them feel overconfident. So you shouldn't do that. If you do that, it doesn't matter if the player you're playing is almost actually committing a foul, but you forfeited the game. So you lose the frame.
When it comes to finishing the game, what are the rules of the black ball? when you make a call for a pot and
for the Blackball rules that we are going to be using, which is quite the common now in Africa and the world, you don't call the pot. You're allowed to pot the black in any pocket, and in case you have a foul, Blackball has 2 shots, unlike the local rules or the prior rules that we used to use, that black only has 1 shot. And if you pocket the black and you pot the white, you've lost the game. It's considered as a foul.
Oh, one other thing I'd forgotten is when you have 2 shots on the black and the black had gone in, when you pick it up, you can put it anywhere behind the bulk line. Bulk line is where you position the white when you're breaking, and play any ball. It doesn't, you know, the way the old rules we used to hit, you have to hit the cushion to come back, and no, you can actually play it backward, for lack of a better term, backward.
Well, that would help people who have no proficiency in that sport like me a lot. But they've also come with the equipment. And Collins, I think you've got an extension to the cue stick with you. You could.
Yes.
Okay, just sit. Sorry. Okay. But okay, you could demonstrate maybe by hand how you get to extend the length of the cue stick, or about that.
Okay, so the different extensions that we have, depending on a shot whereby you need to reach across the table. So for you to be able to play the shot properly, you extend depending on how far you're stretching. So it just helps you maintain the right posture and technique while playing the shot, even when you're stretching far from the ball. So basically you just use them when the white ball is quite stretched from where you are.
All right. And Doreen, let me come to you. When you've got a case where the ball is positioned that it's so close to the cushion, the nickname used for some of these short sticks is mwalao.
Yes.
The short cue sticks. Then how much of an adjustment, or do you have to stick with the full length of your cue stick?
Oh yeah, so they're normally shorter cues, and that applies to maybe in the room that you're playing. If you're very near to the wall, you'll have to use a smaller cue to fit the space that you have. But personally, my long nails come in handy for such a shot, because now I can at least adjust my hand, because they know how to properly spin the ball. So for me, I take advantage of my nails, but my cue stick is still the same.
How many cue sticks are you allowed to have when you're going for any single game?
There's no number, there's no restriction, but it would help if you have 2 for one to break, because you see, like mine has a very small tip. It's not advisable to use such a small tip to break. So yeah, I have 2. My other one is a bit wider than this one and heavier than this one. So yeah.
And it's a single frame, it's not detachable. Maybe you could just detach that.
Mine is a 2-piece. Yeah, so it fits properly in my cue case. Yeah, so that's how it is. Yeah.
All right, and I can see that you've got you now have the various extensions. Where do you use them, Collins, if you are to speak, and how long can you get? Actually, you can put both.
So, for example, this is where you have a very far shot. This is handy when it comes to pool and also snooker, whereby you attach it from here and you can still extend it further for you to be able to reach a very far shot. So it becomes handy when you're playing snooker, and also there's Chinese pool whereby the table is a bit longer. So this really helps you in such shots. So after the shot, you just detach it and you remove it and you continue with your cue the way it is.
The use of bridges, fixed like they would use in snooker.
Yes.
What are the rules as far as that, or do you still have got to spread your fingers out?
You mean the rest?
Yes.
Oh.
Where you got, I mean, he's extended his cue stick to something like 2 meters.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you've got to have a shot where you've got 3 balls, but you know the white ball is here and yours is here, any supplementary equipment required? No, you have to use your fingers.
There are things called the rest, whereby, for example, for when you extend, the rest acts like your finger, whereby you put another equipment whereby the cue will be guided through that thing. So it helps you have a firm stroke. So that's basically what you use when you're stretching the cue.
All right. And I'll come to you. having seen what South Africa can do, they're the world champions, and the teams participating: Uganda, Zimbabwe, Swatini, Tanzania, Botswana, Morocco, Liberia, and the host Zambia. Where's the competition coming from? Don't include South Africa, the world champions, but for the rest of the countries, where's the competition?
Uganda. Uganda is actually our regional, rivals, because they have a very strong team. Yes, so I'll be watching out for the Ugandan ladies as well.
And for you, Collins?
Likewise, but it'll be very competitive. For our men's level, I'll speak for myself. You have that one game, and for a team event, you play one individual only once. So, for example, if I break the game and I finish, no matter how good you are, I have won that game and I won't play your game. So we are going with that mindset of you're not playing the other team, you're playing the game as it goes on the table. Because most of the chances at the level we are, you only play once, you get a chance to play once. So how you utilize that chance is what makes you a champion or a loser.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Collins. Tuwei, he's the men's #1 seed for the Africa Blackball Pool Championships that will be taking part in Zambia. $12,500 in prize money. And we've got Doreen Wandia, the lady captain and seat #5 in the Kenyan team. Yes, this is the national team for the sport of pool. And the prospect of $12,500, what's it for the Kenyan pros?
I guess it's very exciting, and it kind of makes you want to sharpen your skills even more.
For you?
The thing is, we love that it's growing. Maybe it was $1,000, now it's $12,000. 5 years from now, it'll be $100,000. So a chance to grow. That's what we love about it.
Well, you've had it from Team Kenya, and they will be playing 2 weeks from now in Lusaka, Zambia, at the Africa Blackball Pool Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, we wish you all the best. 2 weeks from now, we'll hear the results, and you are welcome to come and give us your experiences. And just know that KBC, we've got very serious pool players. We are the Kekoso champions.
Clear, yes, we know that.
We are the Kekoso champions, proudly.
Yeah.
Yes, our trophy is at the MD's office. Yeah. And so, if you get a chance to play against our team, you know who to look for, Karanja David. And we could see the kind of skill that you've got. Thank you very much. Well, we'll be taking a short break, and when we get back, let's talk about the one sport that has got some great representation at the World Championships. If you take a look at rugby sevens, they've been to World Cups. If you take a look at the men's hockey team, they've been to World Cups. And also, the men's cricket team has been to consecutive World Cups. One other team has been there, the Malkia Strikers. And they're under the Kenya Volleyball Federation. We've got the vice president of that body, Charles Nyaberi, telling us about the 2022 calendar.